Well, you see homeless people all the time on the side of the road and on street ramps, holding up signs that say that they're homeless or that they're in need. And my first thought when I see them is to think about the problems that they had. If I gave them my money, what are they going to use it for? Are they going to use it just to satisfy some drug addiction, or are they really genuinely in need of help? And I was watching a video about a guy who was living homeless, and something that he said was that when people see him, the first thing that they do is they put their eyes down. They try not to look at him. And that was kind of hard for me to listen to, because I know that I fall under the group of people who instantly looks down when I see them. I don't know if they're threatening to me, and I don't want to make them feel bad. But he said that looking down, that lack of eye contact, makes them feel like they're not even human. And after I heard about that, I realized that there's just so much that I don't understand about homelessness. And if I'm really going to be able to help homeless people, I have to understand homelessness. The first thing that I had to do to prepare for my week was to volunteer my time at the Father's Heart Street Ministry. This gave me an opportunity to meet some of the homeless people who I would encounter, and also find out from Terry what the Father's Heart Street Ministry needs. My goal was that I would not go into the situation with anything that wasn't made available to all homeless people. So I said to Terry, I asked her, could you please walk me through what you would do with a regular homeless person? If I was really homeless, what would you do right now? And so what we did was we took a walk through her warehouse, and it's filled with clothes and really anything that you need. And she gives you a check-off list, and what I did was I walked around and I picked out the things that I was going to use for the week. I walked out of the Father's Heart Street Ministry with just the bare essentials, the things that I need to really survive, that is made available to all homeless people through the Father's Heart. My goal for living on the streets was that, because I don't have that much experience sleeping on the streets, I wanted to find a place that was close enough to a shelter where I knew that I could get food for some of the days. And I chose to sleep on 82nd Drive. I chose to stay in the area that the Father's Heart Street Ministry is located, and that was so important to me. My first day on the streets was slow. I crushed up some berries and I painted the word homeless on a cardboard sign to see if I could make a little bit of money. I only made $3, but it was enough to buy myself a burger from Wendy's and a drink. After that, I went behind a McDonald's to see if there was any places I could sleep. I wasn't very concerned about my safety. I think the homeless people that I met were more concerned for my safety, because I was more ignorant of what I was going into. A man named Sonny that I met explained to me that the location that I told him I wanted to sleep, about a month prior somebody had been murdered. It was that type of information that made me realize that this was a little bit bigger than I think I anticipated. And after talking to some of the homeless people, they kind of helped me realize that being homeless isn't just camping. Even though at times it feels like camping, being homeless is pretty dangerous. Because if you're walking around and you have a bag of cans or you have money, there are so many people who really will slit your throat to get what you have. By about the third day, I was running out of food, and I knew that I needed to eat. Many of the homeless people that I talked to told me that the cash and carry had great dumpsters for food, so I decided to see for myself. I was shocked when I found whole bananas, tomatoes, and grapefruit that the store couldn't sell anymore. Basically, the dumpster became dinner for the next few nights. What a lot of homeless people do is what's called canning, where they go and dig in trash cans and do anything that they can to find bottles or cans that they can turn in for money. And my first day that I went canning, I made $6. And I was pretty proud of that $6. When I met some of the other homeless people who had canned for years, who were coming out of the Fred Meyers with $40 and $50, I realized that I wasn't as good at being homeless as I thought I was. There are truly different levels of homelessness. I met some homeless people, and they will explain to me the different types of homeless people. They say there's transients, they move around. There are your lazy bums who just go and stand on the street corners and ask for food. Then you have the people who hold up signs that say, I will work for a day's wage and I will do whatever it takes. Then you have the drug people who will do anything they can just to get their next fix. And there truly are different levels of homelessness. And the longer that you are homeless, the better you become at surviving. One of the men I met, his name was Kevin, he explained this physical heaviness that he feels because when he was younger, his dad beat him every day, and his dad molested his sisters, his dad raped his mom. And he remembers that, and he feels this intense hatred towards his dad. And he explained this physical heaviness that he felt, this physical chip that is on his shoulder that makes him feel heavy. And when he wakes up in the morning, he does drugs and he injects himself with heroin and methamphetamine because he is trying so hard to do anything he can to stop remembering that abuse that he faced every day. He's trying everything that he can to numb himself of that voice that told him every single day, you are worthless. And he was telling me about in the military how he learned how to use the knife and how he learned how to kill people in 4 steps. And so he actually took his knife, his switchblade, and he pulls it out and he puts it under my leg and he begins making noises, cutting various places of my body as though he was really killing me. And I remember being able to smell the alcohol in his breath and being afraid that he was going to accidentally jab my leg and accidentally really stab me, as he described. On Friday, the Father's Heart opened up, and I was so glad. It was nice to be able to go to a place that offered a hot meal and also a place to relax. At the Father's heart, I could feel safe and trust that no one was going to take my stuff. As I finished my week as a homeless person, I decided to test my boundaries a little bit in some of the stores. While some stores were pretty quick about kicking me out, others allowed me some freedoms that are afforded to most people, to browse, to look around, even to sit down for a while and watch a movie. But no matter where I went, I was constantly reminded of the loneliness and hopelessness that is such a part of the homeless community. As I walk away from this experience, I find myself thinking about my own priorities, about how selfish our whole community is, and how much better it would be if we cared more about the people around us, to remind them that there's a God that loves them, that we all have a destiny and we all have value. There doesn't appear to be any quick fix to homelessness, but things could be so much better if we truly cared and thought more about helping those around us.